Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This is the Chinaija Sewing Space where you and I learn to unstyle the wardrobe of our dreams. And I just want to start off by saying sorry guys for the long hiatus. Like I told you guys, I'm trying to move, so I finally did. We are in my bedroom right now. I'm going to try and give you guys a house tour after I've got the place in order, of course. And I think from there we'll be having some house furnishing content, like making bed sheets, duvets, pillow covers, napkins in the kitchen and all that good stuff. So do stay around, turn on your post notifications so you know when I start up that series, and yeah, we'll just have fun getting my house ready together. Okay, now for today's video, we'll be talking about helpful sewing tips that you all need to know. Okay, these tips will help you make your sewing go faster, help you make your sewing look more professional, which is all we want. Okay, let's get in. And remember guys, watch these tips to the end to find out which one is your favorite, which one you disagree with, and tell me which one did you just know of today, like as I'm saying it now. And if you're interested, you can also teach those of us in this community as well. Write down your own helpful sewing tips that have helped you over the years in the comment section, and we'll all learn from there. Now, the first sewing tip I have for you is one in which every newbie sewist hates, and I know some seasoned sewists that hate this as well, but we all, even I did when I first started, okay, but it's something inescapable that we all need to do, and do with love in your heart no matter what. And this is to always sew your darts. I'm so into darts right now that I sew them even on stretch fabrics. Stretch fabrics, you could get away with sewing darts because they will stretch and not look out of shape. But what a dart is basically is that a dart creates contours in an otherwise plain straight fabric. Okay, that's why you have bust darts, because your bust, they come out this way and this way, so all the extra fabric is taken in to create a curve in the straight fabric so that your bust can sit well in them. Even your waist, right? Your waist is curved, right? Because from the bust you curve into your waistline. So we need darts there to take out the excess fabric that is created when the bust comes out and goes back into your stomach. Okay, even your hips, everywhere. Just make darts become your best friend, and your life will be so much more better. As a newbie sewist, I used to be like, I can sew without darts. I've even seen some channels on YouTube here telling you guys that you guys can sew without darts. Unless it's a dartless dress, which means it's just going to be a straight dress, no shape, no nothing. But once you want something to have even a little bit of shape, even some boxy tops have shape to them, okay? And darts can look like you can hide darts now. They look so much more different from your regular darts, but there's nothing wrong with your regular darts. They're fantastic. I can't even sew anything now without sewing on a dart. Second helpful tip that will help you with your sewing is to not neglect your back darts. I got this tip from one of my favorite YouTube sewing channels. I'll put the name on the screen for you guys. A lot of people think of only the front of their garments when they sew, but the back, has to look good as well, because there's no point having people think, oh, the front looks lovely, and then you walk past them and they have this instinct to turn and look back at you and the back of your garment is so out of whack. That's not fun at all. So I like to put in the extra step to make the back garment look as nice as the front, and this goes in the way of having back darts. Okay, you're supposed to have like back darts for the shoulder, you know. I mean, you could move them to the armhole, you could move them to the neckline, but originally they're on the shoulder, okay? Because your shoulders are curved and they kind of go like, the back kind of goes this way, like in a sway, domey kind of shape. So it creates extra fabric on the shoulder, which you need to take in via the way of a dart. And also, if you're someone who is hippie, okay, and that means that your back sways a lot more than normal people's back. So if you're putting in zips, I like to put center back seams in my garments, just because that center back area is the place where you can put a dart in, okay? You can put a dart in there to take in the extra fabric, so you don't have those funny folds on the back of your garments. That's what actually causes it, the excess fabric there, and because there's no dart to cinch that place in. Okay guys, okay, yay for the darts. Another thing I need to mention is to press as you sew. You know, I know a lot of people don't like ironing. I don't know, the same way with darts, people don't like ironing, but I think they like darts less than they like ironing, okay? But pressing as you sew just makes your garment come out, I don't know what to call it, like it looks so professional. And there's even a right way to press. You notice I didn't say iron. In sewing, when you're constructing a garment, you press, right? You iron when you have constructed the garment and you're just ironing to wear the garment, okay? So press as you sew. Each piece just makes just try it, okay? Try sewing the same thing. One you press as you sew, and one you just press when you've joined all your seams and whatnot. It's night and day. The difference is night and day. Okay, next tip. I think that's tip number 4 now, or what? I can't remember. But the next tip I have for you is that you should consider using paper templates to just make things faster, so that you get accurate measurements all the time. And when I say this, I mean for things like pockets, you know, like on jeans, on like a shirt front, you know, those pockets that you have. Just get a paper template so that you can, you know, get the right folds. It helps you create sharp crisp corners. Even for your collar, you know, you can have a paper template, you know, especially if it's in a shape you like, okay? You've tried, you know, experimented a few times and gotten a shape for a pocket or a collar that you like. Just make that into a template, you know, with like hard stock paper. It's just easy. Then another thing that is good to have templates for is, you know, this balloon sleeves are all the rage right now. Just get, you know, find out through experiments the size that you like for your balloon sleeves. Some people like them very big, some people like them large, some people don't like them at all. So if you like that very big, you just have it there as a template, and anytime you want to sew anything that you want a balloon sleeve on, just get that template, put it on the fabric, position it the way you like, cut it out, and it just saves you every time from having to guess, oh, I want this, I want that. Even like my sleeve patterns, you know, like my regular sleeve patterns, I always like a 3/4 sleeve. I have a 3/4 sleeve template. So anytime I want to cut out a 3/4 sleeve, I don't even, especially if I don't make any adjustments to the garment, you know, like to the armhole size, I just go put that on there and cut it out, and voila, everything is all nice and neat, and it saves me time. The next helpful tip I have for you for your sewing, this is for both beginners, people who have, or oldies, people who have been on this sewing journey for a while. I used to do this before, but I don't anymore. I used to, you know, like when you're marking out your darts or what have you, you pin it from one side to the other side and use the pin to create a tracing, whatever, or you tack it down. But guys, I discovered a new trick using an awl. You just use an awl, punch into the exterior, into the legs of the dart, and punch into, you don't need to create like big massive holes, and punch into the apex of the dart, then snip at the legs of the dart, and you're good to go. It's a revelation. If I had known this all this while, you know, it just helps transferring your marks and your darts so much more faster. The next tip I have for you guys is, if you're like me and you love yourself some top stitching and you don't have maybe like top stitching thread, thick thread, or top stitching thread, say that 3 times fast, top stitching thread that matches your fabric, all you can do, get two spools of thread that closely match the color of your fabric, you know, if that is the issue, and use them, you know, thread them on one needle, and I promise you guys, they come out thick, they look nice for top stitching. And this is a trick I use all the time. So long as your sewing machine has twin needle capabilities, you're good to go. You can do this trick and you'll be top stitching away, and you love the outcome of your garments. Now, the final tip I have for you guys is to always use the same seam allowance. I know this might sound like it should be a given, right? Like I'm preaching to the choir, but you'll be surprised if you keep on using different seam allowances for all your projects. You get confused, especially when you have to drop something you're doing, leave it for weeks on end before you come back. Okay, it doesn't help. So I like my 1-inch seam allowance on the sides, okay, in case because my weight fluctuates. That's a whole other story we're going to get into another time. But I love using my 1-inch seam allowance for my side seams, 1/2 inch for neckline and armholes. And even if I drop a project, even if I don't write down what I did, I can come back months later. Trust me, this happens. Come back months later and I still remember, or I don't even remember, I know the seam allowances that I used, and I can just get right back to work. Okay guys, remember to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you know when next I release a video. Thank you to all those who have stuck around with me even though I have not posted in a while. And like I said, more great content coming on the channel for the house and everything like that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.